Hello students, in this class we are going to talk about consideration, that is the next essential element of a valid contract. One by one we are discussing about the essential elements of a valid contract, and consideration is very important in that. So we have seen that no consideration, no contract. If in any agreement, if there is no consideration, we cannot call it as a contract. That agreement cannot be converted into a contract. So the definition of consideration is given by section 2D of Indian Contract Act. It is said that consideration is the foundation of every contract. Now what is consideration? We have seen that consideration means quid pro quo. That means something in return. So where one party has promised to do something for the other party, that party who has promised, that party should get something in return. So both the parties should give something in return and get something in return. And this something in return is called as the consideration. Means one party is giving something to the other party, it should get something in return. So both the parties should give and get something in return, and that something in return is consideration. So the definition of consideration is given by section 2D of Indian Contract Act. Now what is the definition? So definition is divided into four different points. First point, when at the desire of the promisor. The promisee or any other person has done or abstained from doing, or does or abstains from doing, or promises to do or abstains from doing something. Such act or abstinence or promise is called as consideration for the promise. Now what is consideration? So when at the desire of the promisor. So when a person is doing something, that doing something should be done at the desire of the promisor. So it should not be a voluntary act of the person who is doing something, but he should do it at the desire of the promisor. Now who is doing? So the promisee or any other person. So that doing something should be done by the promisee, or even if it can be done by the any other person, that means even the third person. Has done or abstains from doing, that is past tense. So consideration may be past consideration also. Does or abstains from doing. So consideration may be present consideration. Immediately one person goes to a shop, he wants to purchase a pen. He purchases a pen, gives the price 100 rupees for the pen. So at the same time he is giving something, getting something. Present consideration. Or promises to do or abstains from doing. So promises to do means it is future consideration. So he has given a promise that in future he will perform his part of contract. So today you have taken a pen, but now you don't have 100 rupees. So you tell the shopkeeper that after 2 days you will pay 100 rupees to him. So this is future consideration. So consideration has done or abstained from doing may be past, does or abstains from doing, it may be present consideration, or promises to do or abstains from doing, it may be future consideration. Fourth point is something. Such act or abstinence or promise is called as consideration. Means act means it is doing something. Abstinence means even not doing something, or forbearance is also called as consideration. So doing something as well as not doing something, that is also a consideration. So when at the desire of the promisor, promisee or any other person has done or abstained from doing, does or abstains from doing, promises to do or abstains from doing something. Such act or abstinence or promise is called as a consideration for the promise. So this is the definition of consideration. So we have divided this definition into 4 points so that it will be easy for you to remember. Again, in essentials of a valid consideration, we are again going to repeat these points. What is an example of consideration? A agrees to sell his horse to B for 1000 rupees. Here, A's promise to sell the horse is for for B's consideration to pay 1000 rupees. So A has given a promise. In return, what he is getting? He has been given promise by B that after that he will pay 1000 rupees. B has given a promise to pay 1000 rupees. In return, what he is getting? He is getting A's consent to sell the horse to him. So both the parties are giving something. A is giving his horse, getting 1000 rupees. B is giving 1000 rupees, getting horse in return. So in consideration, both the parties should give something and get something in return. Now, what are the essentials of valid consideration? So this is also known as rules relating to consideration. This is a question which is often asked in question papers. Now, one by one, we will first have a look at the points. Consideration, same first point which was there in the definition. It must move at the desire of the promisor. It must move from the promisee or any other person. It may be past, present or future. It need not be adequate. It must be real. It must be lawful. It must be something which the promisor is not already bound to do. So these are the 7 points of essentials, those are the essentials of a valid consideration. So one by one we are going to discuss these points in detail. Thank you.